Hi friends, welcome back to my another episode. In our previous video, I showed you how we can create tables and databases and store it in the default location, default warehouse, Hive warehouse location. But sometimes what happens is we need to create the metadata externally, which gives you more control on your metadata store. To show this portion, I have created my Azure account. Previous demo I was using community edition, Databricks community edition, but here I'm logged into my personal Azure account. So to showcase this one, I need Azure SQL database. Then Databricks is I'm going to install premium Databricks account. Then we will see how we can create the metastore inside Azure SQL DB. As a first step to our demo, let me install Databricks. So first click on here, create a source and type Azure Databricks. So whoever already know how to create Azure Databricks and Azure SQL DB, feel free to skip to the next portion. Okay. So I'm just going to create Databricks. And the subscription I'm selecting pay as you go, and the resource group, you can create new resource group or select the existing one. I have one resource group called demo which I use for all demos, so let me select that. Now inside Databricks, as you know, that workspace is the important portion where we can create your code, you can control your tables, database, etc. So you have to provide the workspace name here. For this demo, I'm going to give JKB workspace, and I don't want to keep it in central, so let me use East US. Okay. Then you have a pricing tier which you can go for standard, premium, or trail. So when I started using this, initially I went with trial with the premium, so you'll get 14 days premium Databricks. So the difference between standard and premium is you can see here itself, right? So it's the standard provides secure with Azure Active Directory, whereas premium provides you the complete role-based access controls. But for this demo, creating the metadata, I am not going to use premium, but instead standard. Okay. Then go to the next step, networking. Here you can decide which place you can install Databricks. Either it is, if you want to give the virtual network, then you can choose yes and provide the virtual network. So it's always better to install in virtual network if you are installing for the company. But here it is for demo, so I don't need virtual network. So if you have created any virtual network, you can try virtual network, how it works. Okay, so here I'm selecting no and go to the next steps. Think about you're working in a company and the company may have different team, they use Databricks, right? So as Databricks is a service based, we always have to think about which user, which team is using Databricks more. The price of Databricks is based on DBUs, how many DBUs they are using and how long it is running, all those details. So some team may run more, some team may run very less, but we cannot charge the same money to all the teams, right? So in order to distinguish the the money, you need to provide the name here. So I just provided JKB. It's not required because it's a demo, but still. Now once you provide all this detail, just review and create. So the validation is succeeded, and click on create. Looks like the installation is completed. Let's come here. Now you can directly go to the resource or pin to dashboard. So I would like to pin to dashboard so that it's easy to access from your dashboard, right? Now your Databricks is ready. Now next step is creating Azure SQL DB, right? So come here, click on the left hand side, create resource. Here you can see a lot of options, right? On the left hand side, AI plus machine learning, analytics, blockchain, compute. So here you can see databases too. Click on that. Then I'm going to select SQL database. Same as subscription is pay as you go, and I'm going to select the same resource group that I created. Okay, the reason is it's in the resource group. The main benefit of resource group is if you install multiple services for your project and the team, you can keep it in the same resource group that help you to control the complete services that you're using. If I say complete control, it includes access control, then authentication, authorization, everything. And even if you want to remove the complete project or scrap the project, then you can just come here and remove or delete the resource group. That will remove all the services inside the Azure resource group. So here I created the Databricks inside the demo. So I'm creating SQL database also in the same place. Next is database name. I'm giving Hive metastore, and then we need to select the server, right? So select, you can create the server here itself, or if you have a new server, then you can, if you have an existing server, you can go for it, but I don't have any server listed here, right? So click on new. So here you can give the server name. So I'll just give GEMS. Oh, it's already there. Okay, so I'll just give okay. Okay, and the domain login and the password. You can give any password, but I would like to give this. Okay. Okay, confirm the password. Then location is same, East US. Click OK. Okay. Now go to the compute plus storage, right? So just click on that. For this one, you can see the price is high. It's $380 per month, which I don't want, right? So you can go for the basic one. Okay. So the basic one, it gives you 4.99 per USD. So that's better for this demo. I don't want $380 per month. Instead, I can give you $5 per USD, right? So just apply that. And let's go to the networking. I don't want to give any public or endpoint. You can directly access. Then click on additional settings. These are default. You can keep it as default now. And here also, if you want, you can use data security. But anyway, I'm going to delete this database after the demo, so let it be same. Now review and create. So you can check all the details that you selected as correct. Once it is finalized, then click on create. So we'll wait for deployment. Okay, so our SQL database and server installation is complete, right? So next step is we'll go inside SQL database and see how the database looks like. Either you can access the database directly from here using query editor, which you can see on the left hand side, or you can use management studio, right? So let me try to access from the portal here. So click here, provide the password, sorry, then click OK. Okay, so you just click on tables. I don't want to save this, no thanks. So you can see there is no tables or views and store procedure, right? So let access the database from a management studio. That will give you different view. So let me go there and copy this server name. Okay, we'll go to SQL Server now. Click on connect database engine. Now you are going to give your database name and provide the password. Click connect. On the left hand side, you can click on a database, so you can see Hive metastore and select the tables. You can find only system tables, external tables, and graph tables. I forgot to tell you one thing. Once you create the database, the IP address that is coming in from database should be added to the firewall in server, SQL server, right? So you click on this server name and on the left hand side, find out the firewalls and virtual network. Click on that. Here you can see I added the client ID here, IP address. You need to give the range. So my ID is 238 ID, so I added the range from 230 to 240. Now our SQL database is ready. Now next step is we go and create Databricks cluster, right? So click on the Databricks, which will open another window, and from there we can launch Databricks. I'm not sure why it is taking time. What's the problem? Okay, signing in. Okay, now first step is to create the cluster. While creating the cluster, you need to provide a lot of configuration, and in the configuration you can provide the tables or the database that we are going to use as an external metastore. So if you look at the left hand side, is similar to the Databricks community edition that we were using previous videos, right? So I'm not going to explain all those things. Directly we'll go to the clusters. Now you can create new cluster here. I'll just give JKB cluster, and cluster mode I'm keeping standard. I don't need high concurrency for this demo, and no pool, and the runtime version. Now you know that the recent release happened in Spark is 3.0, and in the Databricks it is coming in 7. But we'll talk about that new features on 7.0 in a later session. But currently I'm going to use 6.5 for this demo. And as you know, I'm enabling auto scaling and terminate the cluster after 120 minutes of activity. I think I can reduce that to 60. Okay, and the worker, I don't need this much. Let it be 3. Okay, because it's just like introducing the external metastore. I'm not going to process heavy duty data here. And every time, once the demo is over, I have to delete so that it will not charge me more. So it's same. Now click on advanced options. Here is the catch. Here you need to provide the Spark configuration. You need to provide all the required details, right? So Microsoft has provided the documentation. In that it is mentioned how we can connect external metastore using GUI. So here you can directly copy this, click on copy and come back here, paste. Okay, now you need to change all the connection string. So first you can find out the connection string from a SQL portal, server, right? Click here, click on your metastore, and now you can go to connection string. Just copy this. You don't need persist security info, user ID, password, everything. You just need from here. Okay, so just copy this. I think I need to modify. So you can pick the data from these gems, jkb.database.windows.net, then the portal and initial catalog here up to this. So copy this and come back, paste here. Okay, now your username you can type it here, and password, right? Password you need to give. The only problem I'm seeing here is it is exposed to the user who's having access to this cluster. You can restrict though using authentication and authorization. We'll talk about that later. And option connection driver name.com. This driver name is same. You don't need to change anything. Now click on create cluster. We'll wait for it. Now our cluster is up. Now we'll go to the workspace, click on users. I'm going to create new notebook. So let me create SQL Notebook and name it as metastore. Click create. Okay, now what you need to do is let me create a database first. Create database meta demo. Oops, you got error, invocation target exception. Let's see what's the error, right? So you can find out the error by going through the error log. So mostly this error happens when the configuration setting is not provided. See, you can see that unable to instantiate this metastore, right? So if you go back to this is what the session given by Microsoft. So they asked us to use metastore, JDBC metastore database, then JDBC metastore using SQL Server. But now I think I missed to provide these two. So I'm using Hive 1.2.1. So we need to use built-in jars, right? So here if it is 0.0.13, do not set spark.sql.hive metastore.jars, but I'm using 1.2.1, so you need to apply this. Let me go there. click on the cluster again and terminate. So if you want to modify any cluster settings, you need to terminate, then change the configuration. Okay, click on edit, go to advanced option again. Here you have to remove that built-in, and oh, we didn't give the metadata version, right? So we need to give which version we are using. So let me give version, and so we have given SQL.Hive metastore version 1.2.1 and JARS is built in. Let me confirm and start. Restarted the cluster and the cluster is up. Let's go back to the workspace and my notebook. Okay, let's execute again. Getting an execution context. Okay, so if you go back to this Microsoft documentation, I was taking all the details from cluster configuration, right? I'll give this link below my description in the video, YouTube video, right? And you can see that I was picking the details from here, but actually I'm creating the cluster and providing the configuration using GUI, right? So I should come back here, actually should pick up from this portion. So you can see that initially I was providing only up to here, that two were missing because I was picking it from here. That's the reason. Okay, now go back. So again we got the same error, invocation target exception. Let's go here. Let's see what is this, what's the problem. Unable to instantiate again. Okay, Hive metastore, terminating connection pool. Okay, no suitable driver found for this server. Okay, so it's a driver issue. Any other issues? Okay. Nucleus JDBC get exception for nucleus exception. All right. Okay. Okay. So the issue was on the configuration connection manager. Here I was giving comma. I was given comma instead of colon, right? So if you go back to Hive metastore connection from the SQL server, you can find that as per their Microsoft documentation, they said that we can get the JDBC connection string from Azure portal, but what mistake I did was I took it from here instead of taking from JDBC, right? So here it is colon and here it is comma. So I modified that and restarted the cluster, right? You can see that now it is colon. Now go back to workspace, open the metastore and execute this again. Hopefully this time it will run, but let's wait and watch. There may be some error. So I'm not skipping the error portion so that you can find out what are the different errors coming by missing it, right? Again, we got invocation target exception. Well, let's see what exactly the problem. Okay, so come back here, caused by unable to instantiate, still the same issue. Okay. Yes, I captured here. So you can see this IP address is not allowed. So previously, when we created the client, Azure SQL DB client, we had to add the IP address range into the server firewall, right? So we'll pick up the same thing here. We'll go back to the server, and on the left hand side, find out the firewall settings. Oh, this is database once again. Click on here and go to the server. In the server, on the left hand side, select the firewall and add the IP address here. Let's take it from 70, then here I'll take 80. Okay, Databricks. Now save it. Now your IP address here. Let's go back to our, it may take 5 minutes, but anyway, let's go back and execute and see. Still we got the error. Let's go back. Let's see whether it is the same error or different one. Now it's showing different one, right? Version in catalog schema, data nucleus requires this table to perform. So data nucleus is open source project. They provide some class, right? So when I check Microsoft documentation, I'm not seeing that portion. Somehow it got missed, or so it's not available here. So what I did is I just directly went to the Databricks documentation. So here you can see we have to provide these two, right? So let me copy this. I copied this and include that in the cluster. Let's go back to the cluster, click on the cluster, terminate it again, and edit. Go to advanced option. Hopefully this time it will work. Let me copy this. Okay. Now data nucleus fixed data store is false and create schema is equal to true. Now confirm, start. Our cluster is up. Let's go back again, click on metastore and execute again. Yes, now we were able to create the database. Now let's go back to portal, click on the database. We'll go to the database. Okay, click on the query editor, provide the password and password. Okay, click OK. Excuse me. Okay, so now you can see the tables. Previously we have seen that only 3 system tables, graph tables, external tables, those details were there. Now you can see once you create the metadata, once you connected the Databricks with external metastore, there are a lot of new fields came up, right? New tables are there. Now you can create the table here. So let me copy this. So I'm just creating the database here. I provided the database here and the new table, table 1, and I have two field here. I'm using OpenCLD properties, and the separator character is comma and chord character is this, and the location is file store / tables. Just shift enter. So once you create the table, this will be storing into the new metastore. This is how you can attach the external metastore with Databricks or Spark. If you want to see the database, you can come to the data, which is on the left hand side, and you can see the default database and your new database metademo, right? And the table I created just now. All right. So this session we have seen how we can create the SQL database server, Databricks, then how we can connect the external metastore with Databricks. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please comment below. I can reply back. And thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye bye. If you would like to receive more such videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to connect with me, I have provided my details here, my email and LinkedIn. So thank you very much.